Welcome to Sipping on Excellence. This is Coach KJ, and I'm here with my man, my dude, the Doc.
And this is where we will be discussing the exceptional that is absolutely attainable. My friends, here's to living that extraordinary life.
Cheers. Y'all must have known. Woo! Y'all must have forgot.
He's like, y'all must have forgot.
Y'all must have forgot.
I mean, I was just happened to be looking up at this logo we got back here, and
I know
why we look like we got veneers.
wait a minute. I definitely like I have veneers.
I look like I got a unitooth.
and a unit.
Right.
He got on a unit, and his brother got thick hair.
Right?
What would your hair look like if you grew it out? A hotness, wouldn't it?
Nah, just it's all black for one. It's not gray.
Yeah.
And I got a full head. I don't have any bald spots. Thank you, Jesus. But the beauty of us, man, we can shave it clean and still be all right. Oh man, we having a conversation like y'all ain't even here.
Oh yeah.
We forgot about them. Welcome to another episode of Sippin' on Excellence, y'all.
I'm Coach KJ.
I'm Doc. And
this is what we do.
every week in your ear.
Yeah,
for those of y'all who missed it, we had a phenomenal live. Every week, you guys got to check it out. Saturday mornings. We got into it yesterday.
We did. And I got into it this morning, man. Got me a great workout before I came in.
We'll give y'all a little recap on that live.
Little dab.
First want to shout out and say it's Prostate Cancer Awareness Month.
Correct.
And all you men out there, if you're over the age of 40, go get checked.
Remember, it used to be 50. Now it's 40.
And it's still, the recommendations are 50 for men. For black men,
General.
40 years old. And why? Because prostate cancer is more aggressive in us. Prostate cancer, you are 2 times more likely to die of it if you're a black man. It is the second leading cause of cancer death in men. So if that shit doesn't scare you guys to go get checked, I don't know what will.
Right.
It's a simple blood test. Don't be fretting about, I don't want a finger in my butt, all this. Dude, go get your blood checked. It's that simple.
Right.
All you ladies out there who are listening, convince your dudes to go get their prostate checked. How about this? Tell them you ain't going to give them none if they don't get their prostate checked. You know? It's that simple.
Yeah.
I'm saving your life, man. Trust me. Take it.
Might need to say, I'll give you some.
If you go.
Because you weren't getting
right.
any.
Right. If you're going to threaten me with something I'm getting.
But there's some positive reinforcement around here.
And I say it from a place of experience, you guys. Most of you out there know that I had prostate cancer. I had no symptoms. I was not sick, ill, none of that. I just one day when I was 40 said, hey, I'm going to go get my PSA checked. That's a blood test. Came back high. Yeah. And rest is history.
Yeah.
You know? And if I would have waited until 50, which I am now, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Right.
So I'm a huge advocate, and I don't care. People are like, it's so nice of you to share your story in your private life. Dude, if it saves one life, then it's worth me telling my story.
Exactly.
Plain and simple. So I wanted to get that.
Sharing is caring.
I wanted to get that out the way, and this whole month that we do this podcast, I'm going to make this statement every week this whole month.
I was going to suggest that.
Yeah. Every week of September, you guys are going to hear it from me. I don't care if you get tired of hearing it, but repetition is learning. Right. So
it's funny because we always, each time breast cancer awareness comes up, there's this identity and they drive it home. But
when's the last time you heard somebody talk about prostate cancer?
Have not ever. Really?
I didn't know
honestly.
Prostate Cancer Month was a thing until I got prostate cancer.
Didn't
even know. You know why? Because I'm going to tell you like this, and y'all are going to hate me. Nobody gives a shit about men's health. Nobody gives a shit about men's mental health. Nobody gives a shit about men's physical health. We're just supposed to just make life work.
Suck it up. Suck it up. Where are you looking for? Your phone?
Yep. Because I don't want it ringing while we up in here.
It's right behind the computer. This guy.
I'm trying to save y'all from the madness.
That's that doctor life, man.
Woo.
Man.
But yeah, so I think that's part of what we touched on yesterday on our live show. The other recap from the live yesterday, we talked about, man-woman relationships as always.
As always.
So that's one thing you guys want to tune in for, because we go deep. And I'm trying to remember what was the main point that we came away with yesterday that people were really like, huh.
I cannot remember.
Week before last was the prize.
Right.
This week,
it was.
Anyhow, it's up on IG. Go check it out, because
right.
we answer questions regularly about the dynamic of the male-female relationship bond. We answer questions regularly about the married guy, the single guy, and then somebody asked me why I was still single.
I remember that.
And that question came up, and it was a simple answer. Good people have come across my life, but they met me at the wrong time. And people try to force the timing when they shouldn't.
That's part of what it was yesterday. The overall message were people allowing themselves to be available to find a good man or a good woman,
we talked
mainly with good men.
And we talked about people looking to others to make them happy.
Yes.
Instead of finding happiness. Oh, my man's got to make me happy. He's got to do this, he's got to do that. Nah, and his money doesn't make you happy.
The part of being 50.
Exactly. You got to spark the memory. Hey, y'all out there laugh all you want. You're going to be here one day, God willing.
If you're not already.
Right?
And you understand completely.
100%. But, excuse me, y'all. That's how y'all know this shit is just live and real, because we...
Yeah, and we will not edit that out.
We're gonna keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Is that part of it, though? The whole immune system and, like, getting sick and...
Yeah.
Okay.
And just when I get a cold or a flu or a virus of some sort, I will cough for weeks and weeks because of my asthma. And one of those other things I was in denial about. I didn't know I had it until I had it.
That's why I'm shaking my head. That one snuck up on me. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was a little pissy about that.
Yeah. Do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah.
I do take care of myself, but sometimes if it ain't bad, I just keep pushing.
Yeah.
Instead of handling it. But
yeah.
Whatever, man. Let's talk about this cocktail, because we're gonna dive into this topic today. We got a good one today, man.
Yeah.
Coach came up with a nice martini for us to sip on today. What is it, man?
It's called a brown derby.
Not a dirty Sanchez, a brown derby.
A brown derby. Pretty much.
What's in it?
It's bourbon.
Okay.
1.5 bourbon. It's grapefruit juice and simple syrup. Very easy to make. Put in your shaker, ice, pour it up. This one's
kind of a banger today. This one, we might have to revisit this. Cheers.
Cheers.
Brother. And cheers to you guys out there for making this show great.
If I start sweating, that's that bourbon.
If I start sweating, it's just because I'm hot.
You watch this on YouTube, it gets warm in that chest.
That stomach starts to get a little warm and hot and tingly. We get loose at the lips.
Woo! Yeah, man. So I came up with the topic.
Yeah. This was a good one.
Yeah, because we were dragging our feet. We're like, what's going on in the world? And this is like it was a conversation that came up. I was talking to a client. We were talking about, like the people that she works with, they're being persuaded to do X, Y, and Z. It's like, are they being persuaded? Do they need somewhere to, do they need to be led? Or, you know what I mean? Is it real, are they truly persuaded, or does someone need to take them by the hand and say, this is the direction?
Yeah. And so Coach came up with the idea of, let's talk about the power of persuasion. And it's funny because I was talking to yesterday, a previous guest who was on our show, and I told her this is kind of what we're talking about. And she's like, huh. She's like, well, women have that soft persuasion. And I'm like, well, first of all, there ain't nothing soft about y'all's persuasion. And here was something I told her. And, she's very feminine. I am a woman, hear me roar kind of thing. And I made a statement, and she was like, huh. I didn't think she was going to agree with it. Men are persuaded by women all the time. Men don't persuade women ever. What ends up happening is men try to force their dominance and lead, but they're not changing the mind of the woman. She's just going to follow whether she agrees or not. Men get persuaded to change their mind all the time. And the power of persuasion is so great in the feminine setting. A lot of women don't know how to harness that power.
You saw my eyes get.
Yeah, but it's true, right?
It's very true.
I mean, you look at what happens in the masculine-feminine dynamic, and dude, wars have been fought over it. Look at Helen of Troy. Look at, we always say all the time, women make men do dumb shit all the time.
Cleopatra.
And it's not power of persuasion necessarily in a bad thing. You want to have and see a man rise to his fullest potential, put a woman beside him and have her whispering in his ear like, baby, you got this. I'm here if. He's persuaded like a mug.
Think about every power movie, a king, his woman. And he's like, yes. And he's leading the force based off of what she said.
I mean, think about it. Look at chess. The queen protects it all.
This is true.
She has the full run of the board.
Look at Nancy Reagan.
Yep. And so you look at all these dynamics between the masculine and the feminine, and you realize how great that power of persuasion is. Here's another aspect, because we're gonna dance all over the place and then keep coming back and forth to these topics. Look at what I do every day. I always say, I can talk you into or out of whatever I want as a surgeon just by the way I present it to you. I can persuade you. You come to me and I say, you know what? That herniated disc in your neck. You'll be okay. It's not that bad. It hurts, yes, but let's watch it. Surgery might help your pain, maybe we should do surgery. If I want you to do surgery, all I have to do is change how I say it. You have a very bad herniated disc in your neck that is sitting up against your spinal cord, and if we don't do surgery, you could possibly be paralyzed. I've now persuaded you with the same injury, but how I told you.
Yeah.
The first way is, you have a herniated disc. It's there, Could it cause a problem? Yeah, it could. But, what's the likelihood? Probably not very high.
Yeah.
Same person, same injury, and I say, you have a herniated disc. It could cause you to be paralyzed. You should probably have surgery.
Yeah.
I didn't say, both times I said it could cause a problem, but how I said it completely persuades your thinking and will push you towards doing what I want you to do.
Right. Especially if you use words like, there's a high probability, there's high potential.
And I don't even have to say that. I just have to say there's a potential.
Yeah.
And my tone of voice, the way that my demeanor, am I very serious? Am I smiling? Am I all these
voice
things?
Inflection. Yeah.
It's the art of communicating without saying anything that people pay attention to and screw with the subconscious. And so if I want to persuade you to do something, the best way to persuade you is to figure out what affects you. So if you're my friend and I want you to do something for me, but you're that person who's like, I always want it to be my idea, I'm going to play the Jedi mind trick on you and say, hey, what do you think about this? And when you come, yeah, that's a great idea. We should do that.
Right.
I just fed you the idea, but in your brain,
you have the idea.
Right. But if I just came and told you we should do this, you're that contrarian. You're going to be like, no, I'm not going to do it.
You're going to fight me on it.
Exactly.
And also everything that is said to persuade is not said. So like in the beginning, it's in your body language. It's in your physicality, what you're doing, your hands, your facial expressions. You don't have to even say a word.
No.
If you're addressing, if you're going to a patient, you're like, just the sigh alone.
Just that there immediately changes the
They're
tone
like,
of the room.
What?
Am I dying, doctor? What's going on?
Right. Changes everything.
Yeah.
And you could have something positive to say, but just that persuasion in your energy, it shifts where they're going. They're like, okay, where are we going with this? And
then I start thinking, are they looking for me to persuade them into changing their mind about a decision they've made already? Or are they looking for me to give them information and lead them down the path? I think leading and persuading are two different things.
Correct.
Because somebody will follow you even if you don't change their mindset. Persuading them, I think you're changing their mindset. Mm-hmm. You're making them think differently or feel differently. If I lead you to that door, you may still be scared going through that door, but you're following me through. If I send you to that door on your own and persuade you into thinking that there's no danger on the other side, you've now changed your mindset that there's no danger on the other side, so I'm just going to walk through on my own. Mm-hmm. I think that's the difference.
Think about a parent and a child, just how the parent engages with their child. No, don't do that. Well, guess what? The child's son, I'm like, well, why not?
Yeah.
They're going to seek the other side. They have a conversation with them like, you should not do this because this is what's going to happen to you. Well, I don't want that to happen. That mindset kind of gets wrapped around.
Here's a question. Mm-hmm. Looking at the male and female dynamic.
Okay.
How often do you convince your wife to do something she doesn't want to do versus her persuading you to do something you don't want to do?
Never.
Right?
Never.
And this was what we were talking about yesterday here. It was like, a man never persuades a woman or changes her mind into liking something that she didn't like or that doing something that she doesn't want to do. Where it happens all the time, where a woman will play that Jedi mind trick or she'll persuade her dude to just do it. Mm-hmm. All the time. It happens all the time. And so that's why the art of persuasion is so powerful in the feminine dynamic.
Yeah. It's almost like, I just thought about this. It's almost like we as men, for our women, are the biggest advocates. Mm-hmm. And the women are advocating that they follow them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. Come on. Mm-hmm. Come on.
But the thing is, too, women will use that power of persuasion, but still want you to lead. Mm-hmm. Because I don't care what any woman out there says, at some point in time, every woman wants to be led. She doesn't always want to have to make the decisions in a relationship. Correct. She doesn't always want to be the leader.
Yeah.
You take the most powerful women on the planet, she still wants her man to be a man and lead.
Correct.
If she has to use her power of persuasion to convince you to lead, then she's not going to respect you at some point. And even though you're leading, she may follow your lead even if she's not happy about it. You're still not changing the way she thinks about it. She's just going along. Mm-hmm. Right? You never will change their thinking.
No. I always use the analogy Yeah, not the analogy. It's fine.
Okay. I'm looking like
it's just.
I don't ever get to see that. I don't ever get to see that aspect of our
It's just saving.
setup.
It's just saving.
Oh, we good.
Saving space. But what happens is, let's say a man comes home, asks his wife, or no, she asks him, "What are we having for dinner?"
Right.
And he says, "I don't know. What would you like for dinner?" That dynamic. She's like,
I just want you to give me an answer.
I just want
and
you to
then
give me an
I'll
answer.
tell you
Right.
whether I like that or want that or not.
And if we say, let's say, we're going to go to this burger joint. Well, I ate there last time. We ate there already this week. Well, why don't you pick something else on the menu? You say you want to try something new. Okay. Just like that
Right.
mindset will switch.
It didn't switch her mindset.
No.
She just became agreeable.
Yes.
Because in her mind, she's still thinking, we still went there last week. I hope there's something on the menu that I'm going to like.
Right.
She's not going to say that out loud, but she's thinking that.
Right.
You didn't persuade her that now this is
this
is a good decision.
No.
You know?
But she wanted to be led in that position.
Oh, for sure. And I'm curious to how people are going to come at us about this concept. And I think most people aren't thinking about it the way that we think about it. The idea of how powerful that persuasive energy can be.
I think the issue is everybody wants to put a negative tag on everything.
Yes.
Persuasion, that's negative. Persuading, that, no, it can be a very good thing at a good time.
Guess who, and we talked about this, not me and you, but guess who's had a very strong impact by using this power of persuasion?
Who?
Donald Trump.
Yeah, duh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think about it.
I honestly believe, and I heard a psychotherapist one time talk about this when he was running. He said, this guy is powerful. He's learned how to use a form of NLP, whether he knows it or not, at his highest degree.
People out there who don't know what NLP are, tell them what that is.
Neuro linguistics programming.
Yeah.
So being able to form thoughts and help people see a vision a optimal vision that you might have for them to be able to sway them your way. So like as a therapist, a lot of times people come in and they want to talk to a therapist and they're trying to get something, get over a hump, get over, a hurdle in their life. That therapist in a positive way will sway them in a way that makes it sound in their head like it's their decision. It's their thought that they should be taking that leap. Like,
right.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, I can do it because I've done this, this, and this in my life. But they've taught them how to negate all the bad.
Yeah, I mean, our government and each political party has done a very good job of persuading groups of people to think a certain way. And this is why we say people are sheep. I mean, look at what Donald Trump has done with the Republican Party.
It's amazing.
If you can persuade people to say, I would vote for him as president even if he was in jail. He's now, not because we just want a Republican in office, because you can choose any Republican to be in office. Yeah, I just want our party to win. You're saying that you want this particular person. Nobody's had a hold on a group of people like this dude.
It's powerful.
Yeah. Then you flip to the other side and you look at a Joe Biden. No power of persuasion. If you think about it, Joe Biden got elected to office not because he was the better candidate. Joe Biden got elected to office just so Donald Trump wouldn't be in office.
Right.
Not because we thought you were going to be a good president. You were just the better option to keep him out.
Right.
Nobody's being persuaded in the Democratic Party as much as, this is where cults come from. If you think about it, cults come from
Absolutely.
Power of Persuasion. Let's go back to Jim Jones.
Correct.
How he persuaded all these people to think a certain way and then commit mass suicide.
Right.
You have, Charles Manson, who persuaded all these people. I mean, just when you can convince people of something based purely on how you treat them, that power is incredible.
Oh, absolutely. Going back to Donald Trump, one of the things that he had best as well, the Democratic platform, you had CNN, MSNBC, you had all these different platforms, correct? You had all these things that he's done, the grabbing of the pussy, the whatever else he's done, whatever. He had one nail. The Democrats had all those beds of nails. He had one nail.
Yeah.
He had Fox News, and he had crooked Hillary. One nail. That's all he needed. And he drove it home every single day.
And every time he opened his mouth, whatever the conversation was, and if you think about it, before him, nobody really did that. Now, when you look at, you looked at the 1,000 cats that were on stage the other night for the Republican, whatever, there's 1 million of them that were on stage. It was like a EDM concert. But it's always when they get asked a question, they flip it instead of answering the question to whataboutism. Oh, well, Donald Trump's a criminal. Well, what about what Hillary did? Hillary's not been running for president for the last 12 fucking years. And it's like, but they want to keep whoever did anything negative in the other party, you want to keep it in the forefront because then people look at that's the whole party. But then you look at, and we didn't mean to get into politics, but it's part of this.
Yeah, because it's a level of persuasion.
You look at the Democrat Party. The Democratic Party has persuaded and changed the thinking of black people to make them believe that this is the party for black people, when if you go back in time,
it was not.
Lincoln was a Republican. Democrats wanted slavery to stay in place. So somewhere the party changed.
Oh, even fast forward to the 60s, the 50s and 60s. What do they call them? Dixiecrats.
So what people need to get away from, and this is what I've always said, it's not about the party. It's about the people in the party, regardless of what you consider your political affiliation to be. I'm not Democrat. I'm not Republican. I choose who the hell I want to choose.
Right. But think about also the level of power of persuasion that Donald have. If you have, it's like a MLM, a multi-level marketing. He's created such a dynamic that they're all underneath him, following him and using his platform, which is still feeding him.
Check this out.
That's power.
Let's look at the U.S. and the U.S. government as a whole, our country.
Okay.
We've persuaded the rest of the world into thinking that our paper dollar is worth more than everybody else's, so the rest of the world should base their economy on a piece of paper, when what our paper is backed by is more abundant everywhere else in the world except for here. If it was first based on gold, which we don't have much in the U.S., then it's based on oil, which all the oil is from elsewhere, and we convince, and this is why BRICS is going to be so important. BRICS is all these countries coming together to say, F basing our economy on the U.S. dollar, let's base it on something else. Because how much worth can you place in something where as we start to run out, we just print more? That's not backed by anything but a promise saying we'll pay you back. We got a $5 trillion debt.
That's growing.
That's growing.
Dramatically. And
inflation happens because when we need more money, we just print more money. It's legal counterfeit. You think about it. It really is.
Yeah.
It's, you know what? I'm going to print more money so I can send more to Ukraine. that paper I give you, that paper ain't worth shit. It's worth the promise that the U.S. is going to give you some money or going to give you something of value at some point. I saw a dude give a talk about Africa, and he was saying, we have the gold. You want us to give you gold.
You sent that.
Yeah, you want us to give you gold so you can give us paper. Your paper isn't worth anything. If we give you gold, allow us to give you gold and buy into your economy. Let us use gold to buy your stocks. Let us use gold to own property. Don't just send us paper, but a lot of African countries, we've convinced the world that our paper is worth more than anything.
That's amazing.
Like, I can't take my money to Ethiopia and try to exchange it and all that stuff outside of a bank because it's being sold on the black market.
So it's almost like people are waking up from their hypnosis.
They're trying to.
Yeah.
And we're trying so hard to keep people
In
under.
hypnosis, yeah. Keep them under. The
Dude,
level of persuasion.
it's kind of crazy though, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And we've persuaded everybody that we're the greatest. I mean, think about this. We've convinced...
We dropped the bomb and then we thought we were greatest.
Exactly. We've convinced everybody that our healthcare system is the greatest of anywhere in the world.
I don't know how that happened.
We have great physicians. We have great doctors. But
Great schools.
if you really look at it, our schools aren't ranked the top in the world.
Oh, really?
Nope. You look at students from other parts of the world, well more educated.
Interesting.
You look at healthcare. For industrial nations, we're not even in the top 10.
Do you think it's because they start their level of education at earlier phase? Or?
It's just a different mindset here. Our public school system is terrible.
Oh, yeah.
And
I
most
was talking about
students
from a medical standpoint.
No, and most students. Now, mind you, we have the most medical advances, et cetera, than anywhere else in the world. And yes, our medical system, our doctors are very smart, but our healthcare system, shitty.
Okay.
Anytime we are number one in the world for healthcare expenditure, the number two country in the world is 7 times less than us or 4 times less than us. But yet, when we rank quality of healthcare based on people's views, we're like number 22 or something like that.
Wow.
And even if I'm exaggerating, we're not top 10.
Mm-hmm.
And they take into account not just the medical care that's provided to you, but how the system itself runs. And that's because everything is so expensive. Our insurance system is kind of crazy. It goes up every year, and there's no portion of universal health care for everybody. So these are all things that create issues. But yet we've persuaded the world that we are the creme de la creme. We've convinced the world that everybody needs to have a democratic society like ours. But if you really think about it, do we truly have a democratic society, or are we more like Russia with oligarchs, where all the wealthy, because think about it.
Yeah.
Think about who's controlled our country forever. The Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, and all their descendants. Then you start looking at the Kennedys. Now, it's more so the Bill Gates of the world,
Correct.
the Elon Musk of the world. I pulled this stat up the other day with all the billionaires. Like, who has the most billionaires in the world? We do. We have like 750 of them or something crazy like that.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And if you look around the world, though, you have 7 billion people on the planet. There's 2,500 billionaires out of 7 billion people. 2,500 people control the fate of 7 billion.
Wow.
Excuse me. Yeah. Let's think about it. Those are the people who line the pockets of every country everywhere in the world.
Yeah. They get exactly what they want. Now,
So people, the Illuminati, is that real? You ain't in the billionaires club. You don't have a say. Think about it. I
The
don't
first
care.
rule of Fight Club. And they have all the fight.
Yeah, if you aren't in the billionaires club, you think you have a say. You don't, because you're not spent. You don't have the capital to spend to persuade our Congress.
You don't have the influence.
And influence is persuasion. So our Congress is controlled by the lobbyist, right? What do lobbyists do? They line pockets to get their
Of course.
agenda passed. Why do you think Big Pharma still is called Big Pharma? Why do you think insurance companies make so much money? Because they have a huge lobby.
So
That influence right there.
right. Talk about influence. What do you think? What are your thoughts about the level of persuasion that influencers may or may not have? Is it real? Is it Memorex?
You
Is it,
read my mind just now, because the first thing I was about to say is there's been no bigger influence or power of persuasion than Kim Kardashian.
correct.
Look at how that particular woman and family not only has changed social media. When's the last time you opened social media and didn't see a woman that looks exactly like her?
Or turn on any reality TV show.
Everybody's going for that look. They're going, from the makeup to the hair to the everything.
Profile pictures, everything.
Everything. And huge influence. Kind of crazy, right? Power of persuasion. You look at The Rock. Excuse me. And let's talk about tequila. Terramana tequila it's okay.
Okay.
But with marketing and his level of influence, it's become the number one spirit sold. Not because it's the best tequila sold. I got 40 different bottles over there that
say otherwise.
that'll blow it out the water. And I'm not saying it's a bad tequila. It's just not top tier, and that's okay. But it's interesting how people have an influence over others just because you're providing something that maybe somebody wants to hear. My buddy yesterday asked, when we were talking about micro influencers, you remember?
Yeah.
And he asked us, well, what does that mean? You have the power of persuasion on anybody who's willing to listen to what you have to say and can take something from it. So this podcast, if people are grabbing onto every word we're saying and it changes their mindset, then we have a bit of power of persuasion because we have a platform.
Correct.
We have more ears than the person sitting in the room having a conversation with 5 people. Tony Robbins uses it well.
Absolutely.
He uses the power of persuasion very well. You look at what Hugh Hefner did. Hugh Hefner persuaded women all over the world down a certain path. I persuaded 7 of them to be married to me in my house or whatever the hell it was,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
money's a big, powerful persuader. Religion is a big, powerful persuader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
we haven't didn't even dive into that yet.
Well, even think about it. Religion's behind everything.
Yes.
Everything is religious based. Look at the mafia.
Yeah.
The Italian mafia. Mm-hmm. They are hardcore Catholics. Mm-hmm. But yet, you killing in the name of God? I mean, help me understand. Hey.
Right.
But
we ain't got nothing against y'all though.
they use it, but it's their base.
He said it.
I mean, look at these militias in Middle America, highly Christian based.
Right. And I think rather than that being like, you look at the mafia, you look at the drug lords, you look at the warlords in Africa. Those aren't really, I'm making you follow me out of persuasion. I'm forcing you to follow me regardless. I'm persuading you with the down the muzzle of a gun.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But I think
no choice.
Yeah, but I think the power of persuasion, religion is huge when it comes to that. I'm telling you things, you know, and convincing you that there's a better life out there if you follow me. I'm not forcing you to follow me. I'm not even saying I'm leading you. I'm just changing your mindset to make you think it's your decision to follow me.
Well, think about slavery. When slavery, what they do, they would preach to the slaves. Mm-hmm. There's another side. This is not your side. Now get back out to the field. So you sang the spirituals in the field to keep you going, keep your mind right.
I convinced you that you weren't smart.
Right.
I convinced you that you weren't as good. And we're still feeling those effects of, man, we're not good enough.
Yeah. And then also what we have in still a lot of black churches is the fire and brimstone.
Yep.
Beat you over the head.
Let me create fear.
Yeah. Stoke fear.
Yeah. Fear is a great persuader.
Yeah.
You know, fear, money, lust is a great persuader. Mm-hmm. You know, like I said, those feminine wiles will make you lose your mind, make you lose your job. People do a gang of shit for money, and it's just a matter of how much. And then fear. People do things out of fear. Mm-hmm. And I think people are going to hate me for this. You look at why people do certain things for religion, it's the fear of going to hell. It's not because I want to do this. It's if I don't do this, I'm too afraid of eternal damnation. And I'm going to give you a little nugget and say you can go to heaven. You know?
Right.
But
at the end of it.
My want to go to heaven is not as significant as my fear of going to hell.
Right.
You know? And that's the crazy part.
Man.
I'm just saying.
Man, it's real. It's real.
That power of persuasion is fucking real.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of us don't even know we're being controlled. We're being controlled by the media. Mm-hmm. We're being controlled by the books we read. We're being controlled by the music we listen to. We're all being programmed. And the interesting thing is that powerful persuasion is going to keep transforming as artificial intelligence keeps seeping in. Mm-hmm. And we're not even going to realize that we're being controlled in a manner of that until it's too late.
Oh, they know.
I'm talking about they know. We don't know.
Yeah.
We think we're still in control, and we're slowly slipping away because people are starting to make us feel like we need certain things.
Oh, I mean, think about when you're talking about AI. AI is something that has been a part of us way longer than we even can imagine.
Yeah. When
you're on your phone and you're texting, but you have all these words, or they know the exact word that you're going to look up, and it pops up just like that. Yep. And come on, man, that's AI. That's all AI. It's identification.
Subliminal image messaging is all persuasion. I mean, you didn't think you needed something, and then all of a sudden you think, I gotta go to the store and buy this toothpaste. Why? Because there was a jingle that you heard in the background while you were cleaning your kitchen and the TV was on, and you don't even realize, why am I going to Target now?
Yep.
You know, and that powerful persuasion is happening in our kids. It's happening in the job space. Mm-hmm. It's happening at home, you know, where everybody's trying to manipulate each other. And I'm going to say this again. Men try to persuade by force, but women's power of persuasion is so much more. It's so strong. It's so much stronger than ours. Mm-hmm. And those who know how to use it well use it to their advantage and manipulate the shit out of people.
Correct.
Others haven't figured out how powerful they are. Thank you, Jesus.
You know what happened for me? It just made me think about someone. So, with you saying that,
Yeah,
it's amazing to watch this person go through what they've gone through, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, you're going down not only the same road, but she's really got you.
Yeah.
Oh, she's really got you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I got that. Interesting. Okay.
Man, good topic today.
Yes.
We're gonna close this out on a note of it's okay to be persuaded. It's okay to have that power of persuasion, but don't lose what logically and intellectually makes sense because somebody's trying to change your way of thinking. You know?
Yeah, man. Always swaying. Always. You always swaying me. Why you swaying me? I want leather.
Man, I want to get this thing over here on remote control, so I just go.
I know.
Just go. So I don't have to get up.
Might need to just put it right here.
Yeah. That's what's going to happen. But dude, where they gonna find you, man?
Man, they gonna find me swaying on
He's swaying.
CoachKJ.com and swaying even more on Instagram at Coach KJ Knows. Where they gonna find you?
They gonna find me swaying on at Leonel Hunt. You'll find me on the internet at huntspine.com. You'll find us both podcastsoe.com. Check us out every Saturday morning as well at SOE_podcast. And we do a warm-up show. You'll get all these goodies then. But we love y'all and we out.